Millennial relationships in 2025-2026 feel like they're happening in two realities at once. One where gender roles are over and another where they quietly reappear, just dressed up in new vocabulary, new memes, and new expectations. On paper, millennials are the generation that popularized therapy speak, consent culture, and let's communicate. In practice, day-to-day communication is often shaped by platform habits, texting, voice notes, DMs, work burnout, and a constant low-grade debate about what masculinity and femininity are supposed to look like now. Deloitte's 2025 Gen Z and Millennial survey captures the background noise, money pressure, stress, and a strong desire for meaning and well-being. Conditions that make patience and emotional bandwidth scarcer inside relationships. The new gender expectations: less roles, more standards. The new gender expectations: less roles, more standards. A big millennial shift in 2025-2026 is that expectations sound less like fixed roles. Men provide, women nurture, and more like standards and boundaries. I need emotional safety, I need effort, I need partnership. That can be healthy until the standards are gendered in opposite directions and people start arguing past each other. Pew's work on gender roles shows the public widely recognizes changing roles, but also that people interpret the benefits and costs differently for men and women. In the everyday dating and partnership arena, that difference often turns into mismatched scripts. Many women expect emotional attunement plus reliability. Many men feel pressure to be confident, unbothered, and successful without being too much. When both people are trying not to lose status, social, sexual, or emotional, direct communication becomes harder, not easier. When you can end a connection by doing nothing, conflict avoidance becomes the default. The communication conflict here is predictable. One partner experiences repeated reminders as nagging, while the other experiences repeated reminders as proof I'm alone in this. In 2025-2026, millennials are increasingly trying to solve this with operational language, weekly check-ins, task ownership, shared calendars, because romance doesn't survive project management inequality. Finally, millennials are navigating a loneliness era. Pew's 2025 report on men, women, and social connections notes differences in how people reach for emotional support, patterns that can spill into heterosexual relationship dynamics where women are expected to be the emotional hub. When one partner carries more of the emotional connecting, the other can look chill while actually being avoidant, and resentment builds. Communication dynamics, clarity culture versus avoidance tools. Millennials talk a lot about clarity, but modern platforms make avoidance frictionless. Researchers in 2025 continue to define ghosting as a unilateral stop in communication, distinct from other digital ambiguity like breadcrumbing or orbiting, and emphasize how deeply it is tied to digital communication norms. When you can end a connection by doing nothing, conflict avoidance becomes the default. And it's not just dating. In 20 see wall born in spirit or church. Ghosting is linked with emotional and behavioral responses that reflect real distress and social pain, not merely a petty trend. This matters for millennials because many are balancing long-term partnership goals with app-era habits. A generation that wants stability can still end up using short-term exit ramps. Emotional labor, the mental load, and the resentment pipeline, where gender expectations hit hardest in millennial partnerships, is often not romance, but maintenance. Remembering, scheduling, anticipating, smoothing. That's the territory people describe as the mental load. And it shows up in 2025 coverage of systems like Eve Rodsky's Fair Play, which explicitly tries to convert invisible labor into visible, shared ownership through structured conversations. The communication conflict here is predictable. One partner experiences repeated reminders as nagging, while the other experiences repeated reminders as proof I'm alone in this. In 2025-2026, millennials are increasingly trying to solve this with operational language. Weekly check-ins, task ownership, shared calendars, because romance doesn't survive chronic project management inequality. Social media doesn't just reflect gender, it produces it. In 2025, tradwife isn't only a vibe, it's a recognized cultural signal. Cambridge Dictionary's edition of terms like tradwife highlights how online identity trends aren't fleeting, they're shaping mainstream language. At the same time, scholars are studying tradwife content as a social media phenomenon that promotes particular gender ideals and narratives about femininity and reproduction. This is where millennial communication gets spicy. People aren't only negotiating chores or texts back, they're negotiating worldviews. If one person's algorithm is feeding soft life and traditionalism, while the other person's feed is feeding independence and equality, the couple's conflict won't sound like politics. It'll sound like, why don't you lead more? Versus, why do I feel like your mother? The same old fight with new captions. When one partner carries more of the emotional connecting, the other can look chill while actually being avoidant, and resentment builds. Loneliness, emotional availability, and who does the reaching out? Finally, millennials are navigating a loneliness era. Pew's 2025 report on men, women, and social connections notes differences in how people reach for emotional support, patterns that can spill into heterosexual relationship dynamics where women are expected to be the emotional hub. When one partner carries more of the emotional connecting, the other can look chill while actually being avoidant, and resentment builds. So, what's actually changing in 2026? The headline is not that gender expectations disappeared. It's that they became negotiated, personalized, and algorithmically amplified, and that puts pressure on communication. The millennial relationship skill of 2025-2026 is less knowing the right role and more building explicit agreements. What commitment means, how conflict is handled, how labor is divided, and what effort looks like in real behaviors, not vibes.